So I don't know if you saw a little bit about kind of loving me first, but that's kind of, I'm trying to, I guess, open up avenues and connect people, especially men and women, but specifically women on my side, selfishly, just because of the journey that I'm on of finding peace and healing for past things in my life that something I've noticed because I talk to women all the time with my job and wherever I go. It's like women are just needing to connect, and people in general, men too. And it's like there's this lack of connection and finding things that can bring them peace or healing or whatever that is to them. And so I would love to like interviewing you, getting to know what you're doing here, because clearly you've got this whole space and you're allowing people to come and be a part of it, find probably healing, find themselves, all the above. And so I want to know, like, Jake. I called you the dog's name.
He's
Dave
listening subconsciously. Something's going on there.
Yeah, that I love dogs. But that Dave mentioned about like what you're doing here, what has been your mission to get here, like what led you here. Because like even in the conversation you get it, you're like, it just whatever happens, happens. Like you're all for the let it happen. So yeah, so I'll let you take that lead on where you want to start with and where you want to go.
Oh my goodness, that is a lot. Um, to sum it up, I just follow.
Mm-hmm.
I just follow spirit. I follow what feels right. What led me here is something higher than me. You know, it's not anything that I planned. I've been on a spiritual mission my whole life. I mean, I didn't really know, I didn't know to call it that when I was younger. You know, I just knew I was drawn to like things that were supernatural and esoteric and like, I can't even describe a lot of things I was drawn to, but um, the, the path was not laid out. I'm a very much of a planner. I'm an entrepreneur, businesswoman, you know, my whole life. I've been very, very, very driven. You know, I've have checklists, to-do lists every day.
Yeah.
And a good day is when I check everything off, you know.
So good.
Yeah. So I mean I was like that, but also I had the spiritual side. So it was like this, you know, and it was kind of like a fight with which is gonna take my
The
time.
masculine, feminine, the yin yang, yeah.
A balance.
Because you clearly have both.
Yeah.
Like that's shocking for me to hear you say, "Oh, I'm a checklist person," because you feel like an artist, which is very feminine, but there is that other side that's
Yeah, and that's kind of like why I talk about a Milo Farm and why the um, the powers higher than us, including our higher self, my higher self, guided me to this because I had the skill set of an entrepreneur, of getting things done, I know HR. Like running this, you have to know HR, you have to know marketing, you have to know, how to work with people and things, and I was in real estate, so what do you do when this goes wrong and that goes wrong, and I have the skill set of that, and like being people, like I can communicate with people, but I'm not I don't get too tied into their stories, you know what I mean? And then I also have the spiritual side too. So it's like the skill set for me to be in this space was perfect. Yeah, but to going back to like what brought me to what I do and what Milo Farm is and all that, it was just like breadcrumbs, you know, just like laid out for me. I just following it.
So like it was like your path, and it was just guiding you there with little breadcrumbs.
Yeah. And then that goes back to everything that I've done in my life. Like, so I started majoring in business in school. So this is the pure example of that. I started majoring in business.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is boring and very dry and very common sense. It's like, I want theology and philosophy and art. So I switched it, and my dad was like, philosophy degree? So I have a philosophy degree, an art minor, and a business minor. So it's like this weird balance, but I'm like, I knew that wasn't right? And then I worked in through high school and college. I worked in the cosmetic because I love art. So makeup is like painting like a canvas, right? Yeah. And I loved it. Like, and it made people happy, and it made women feel good, and so I was doing that, but I was like, this doesn't feel right. So like I knew at that time there was bookstores in the mall. So at Macy's I was in the cosmetic counter, but I was like, no, I want to work at the bookstore. So I started in the bookstore business, and I went from Walden Books and to Borders, and I freaking Borders is amazing. Loved being surrounded by books and music and coffee, and
Yeah.
those kind of people are my people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was the breadcrumb that led me to Borders, and then Borders shut down, and I already had some rental properties, and that was the breadcrumb to
Mhm.
open up to go into more real estate.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and the real estate's, you know, I just talked about this with a friend last night about we're energy people. I'm an energy, like I can feel into the energy of people.
Yes.
I see auras, the energy of places, but like showing homes and going into like not just homes but cathedrals and buildings, like the stock exchange building in the bottoms of Kansas City. That has amazing energy. But just
Really?
walking into buildings and places and like feeling into the energies and like everything that happened there, and it's just intriguing to me. So, you know, I find buyers homes that they love, and I connect it and I clear the home for them. And it's just like, that's kind of a great thing. So that um, got to me some capital to move, and we had rental properties. We're flipping homes. And so Milo Farm, this is how Milo Farm comes in. And this is like the Cliff Notes version of how all of it progressed. But is the energy here.
I was gonna say, you come here and it's just like you feel like a peace, like like
Yeah, so many people say that. Like they drive through the gates and it's like automatically they feel better. And I just love that. The land also speaks to me, and it talks to me, and it told me that it wanted to be part of this bigger mission of helping people and helping them heal and grow and expand and clear and get closer to nature.
Yeah.
And like has everything, like if you like forest, it's got the cedar forest and the oak forest and the field, like all these different ecosystems are the waters, like we have a spring well and ponds, like ever whatever you're connected to with nature, like even big, we have observatory, so like big sky is your thing. Yeah, like it's all like here and this own little like 50 acres, and like so everyone kind of feels like that they can connect to some part of it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it talked to me, and I was like, I can't just keep this. So now it's mine, you know.
Because your spouse and you, or your ex-spouse, that happened.
Yeah, and it's so female owned and operated, and my vision got to, because I was always like rejected in a lot of things with that, and now I can expand and be me completely, and I can hear and I can work with the land. He's now my partner, and what does it need to like help evolve and touch the people that are here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so like the energy of like I couldn't not share it, because there's portals on the land, and there's just magic everywhere.
Yeah.
Like magical things happen.
And you're like, well, because if you keep it to yourself, then it's like you can't be like, oh, did you experience that, or did you feel that, or do you know what I mean? Any of that. You can't, it's not the same. Like it's beautiful, but it's like you feel that love, and so you have to expand that love to other people. They have to experience it too.
Right. Plus the people that come here, like they'll have their stories.
Yeah.
Like so people stay up in the hippie trailer, and this one lady was like, I had these orbs came in and visited me in the middle of the night, and then I heard these songs, and like so I get to like experience the land through them.
Yes.
You know? It's
That's
just
cool.
I'm getting chills. It's just
I was gonna say I got
it's
Dave needs to come. You live close,
don't
you?
It's been calling me for a while, and I just haven't. Yeah, so it's good.
yeah, and I do feel very, very honored to be the steward of it. You know, I and again, I think that it was a connection that was, you know, beyond me, but I apparently was the right person, because not just the skill set that I was talking about, but that my dedication to it, and to not just this spot of land, but to the evolution of humanity and to Mother Gaia. You know, this is a little micro of the, you know, macro of you know,
Big,
of
big of it all. Yeah.
Well, and the space and everything you just talked about, and how you stepped into that is amazing and beautiful and divinely feminine, just the land and all that. But you also do work in addition to that. So you hold events and people come here and share this space. But what are some of the things that you do as well? Just like your individual practices or modalities? Is there things you do for you outside of holding this space?
Yeah.
Because I'm curious about that.
So I what I do is I feel blessed. I feel blessed with what I'm given and the experiences that I'm having, and I do feel like the land is supporting that. It's another reason that I'm here. But yes, I hear spirit. I feel into energies. Um, I do my regular things of like they even guided me on this new prayer this year. I get a message every year. They give me 2 words that outlines the year and kind of guide. They give me guidance all through the way. But so one thing that they had said was at the beginning of this year when they showed me this prayer, and I don't have the amethyst with me. It's the prayer I pray at my altar here every day, but that's secondary. First, I do this one practice in the house, and they said prayer is the robe you wear. So yeah, so like if you think of like yeah, if you think of like kind of like standing back and viewing people as in spirit, you know, you can feel like I can see colors and auras and they mean something and the frequency, their frequency means something. And like so in like other realms, people don't have names, they have colors and frequency. And like I would know you by that.
Yeah,
you know.
sense that.
So you can feel that even with us in here. You
Yeah.
can
Oh
kinda
yeah.
pick up
Yeah.
on
I was
those
just
things.
looking at your ears a little bit ago.
I know. But tell me
Tell
about
us,
it.
tell
Tell
us.
me
Oh
what you
well.
feel like. I'm not.
If you're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Well, I would have to put on a different hat. So let me
Okay.
get through this, and then I'll
Okay.
put on that. I'll put on that hat, and we can go through all of that. No. So talking about that is really my love. Like I'm about to leave on Thursday to go on. I go once a year on a solo soul journey. So a soul journey, SOLESULE, journey. So like by myself, and I listen. I got time to listen to spirit and and they guide me really clearly that way because I'm so busy. But I have grown like each year, and they told me when I moved out to the farm that I would grow exponentially, and it's been wild. And there's so much to that. But this year I've had since July, one a month Kundalini awakenings where like so impactful.
That has been like every
4 days in a
message
row.
I've been getting the whole time.
4 days in a row.
Yeah, 4 days in a row. But every time Kundalini,
The universe is just clubbing you over the head with.
and I had never heard of it till this week, and then it's just like,
What?
like slap.
So
in my
I don't want to
face.
divert you, but
Yeah, and I'm like,
serious.
yeah, I'm dead serious, and I'm like,
So this is a message for you.
yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it's coming loud and clear, and I keep being like, it's fine, I'll get to it, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Listen, bitch.
Like, pay attention to this. This is something that you need to like figure out and learn about
So,
and do.
Yes, that's so one important thing that I have always learned is that when you're trying for something, and I always did 3 strikes you're out, like the door's shut 3 times, like don't even try anymore. Like I'm trying to work on this one event thing, and it keeps like I'm putting it away now. But also same on the opposite side, when the doors are opening and opening wider, like stop and listen and do something about it. That is totally a message for you. There's like a seed inside of you. I can see it. There's a seed inside of you that wants to come out, and like you're not giving it time. You're pushing it away. So it's something that's part of your journey in this life as well. And you have grown. So they're saying, so when they talk to me, I do this because like, that's what I'm hearing. You are like expanding fast.
Yes.
Like you were not even the same person you were like a few years ago. Like bam.
100% accurate.
Yeah. So it's clearly your guides guiding you. And they just said this too, like that you also are very intuitive. And and you've been hearing that too, and hearing messages and things like that. So but you're again pushing that away. So just want you to
to listen.
Yeah. And so what I saw, now we can swing back to like what I saw with you is your aura is very yellow, and like what it showed me was like this sunrise kind of yellow, like, and that's very tying to what just came through, is like you are this, yeah, sun coming up, and like you're just peeking over, and the light is beautiful, and the different colors and things like that. But you are so ready. You're the sun, so ready to come
Yes.
over the horizon.
That's kind of where I feel like I'm at.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But
beautiful.
you've got, there's some things you need health wise or something you need to work on. Maybe like anxiety or something.
Yes.
But there's,
Yeah, I would say anxiety
First.
and a lot of things from past stuff that I'm trying to work through and to like come to grips with, accept, to move past them, kind of a thing, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah. And you're holding it like in your
Mhm.
gut kind of, and it's
Yes.
it's not serving you well in your
Mm-mm.
body.
No, and that's kind of why I'm on this journey and doing what I'm doing now. So find those ways to find where I can do that, but also help other women in the same time and other people like when they have things like that. Because I think a lot of us do hold stuff in, right? We have things that happen and we just don't know
Yeah.
how to either
Process it, yeah.
release it, get rid of it, you know what I mean, or move past it. and
Sometimes
be
we
like,
don't even know it's there.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so I know mine's there and I'm very aware of it, but it's like I just find myself not giving or listening or allowing my time to figure that out and to move in that way.
Yeah.
But you have to,
Definitely,
and I
yeah.
want to honor the courage you've had to start to step into that. Even
Yeah.
this week, like one gal did a little energy work. Grief came out, and you opened up. Like you are, like I love that analogy. You're peeking over that, so you are stepping into it. And I've seen that, like she said, you're a radically different person,
Yeah.
and that evolution is happening relatively quick. I mean, 5 years is nothing. So. I just want to honor that and see that, and you're being receptive to all of it.
Yeah. That you are following your path, even though
Still.
yeah, it's still not 100% comfortable.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, go with it. No, resist. I'm in that little pushback. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to step into that.
No, but just that you're trying, just that you're making that effort. Yeah, that will, and that will be a great example for others too. Like, because you went through it yourself, so you'll be able to tell them, well, I did this and how to do this and this and this. Nobody's path is exactly the same, but
No.
people are inspired
They get-
by those
Yeah,
that
encouraged and empowered by other people watching and saying, if they can do that, I can. And oh my gosh, that worked for them. Maybe it can work for me. Or you know what I mean? Whatever that is, like I just, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
keep seeing a
keep
little
getting-
girl inside of you. I see this like little girl. It just
Probably.
yeah.
She's in there.
Yeah. She almost wants to not follow the path. She almost wants to just like leave me alone. I want to just go play. But I'm glad you are.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all that you said because it helps me in my journey to move and be like, okay, I can do this. And I like that you see that. You know, it gives me a visual too of kind of seeing that, yeah, that sun coming up. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get into that, you know, I want to come out. I want to shine bright. I want to do those things, you know, so.
Yeah. And even though you're not completely over the horizon, just the colors, like you very glow like that. You know, you get the colors of a sunrise and how beautiful they are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
And if there's space here for a little girl to run around naked in the forest, maybe.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh yeah. There's space. Barefoot.
Yes, ground yourself.
Mm.
Okay, that's awesome.
We totally interrupted. I'm so sorry.
No.
Like I said, about me.
We asked what she does. There was a demonstration.
Yeah.
What you do right there.
Yeah. And I do love doing that. You know, that's part of my mission, I guess, and just listening. Because it's like it's a gift that I've kind of been too busy to play with much and still a little too busy to play with, and it's going to be like my a bigger focus in the future. But it's also like riding a bike. You have to like you know, it's there and you know how to do it, but it's you know, it's like muscle exercising.
Yes.
You know, you have to practice it, you know, more and more. So yeah, thanks for letting me practice.
I love it. I loved all of it, so thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I do. I feel very excited about like your journey and so many
Mhm.
people's journey on this spiritual path because so many people are opening up. And I do feel like in fact, Archangel Michael gave me this. One of the first messages I heard when I was on the land, it was the Zen Garden. Zen Garden is a portal.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to me, and this was like 2015, and
Mhm.
and was like, "You're a light warrior." And I was like, I had never heard light worker before, even then. I hadn't even
Yeah.
heard of light worker until 2017, I think, that word, light
Mhm.
worker. And I was like, I'm not a warrior because I'm very peaceful. I'm a pacifist. I'm not an activist, you know. But I know what he means now. It's like you can be a warrior without a sword.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's setting an example, it's what you give out, it's your just who you are. Like
Yes.
you don't have to do anything.
Which was totally even what you did just with me. I feel like you were giving me insight and what you were feeling and all that. So I feel like you were giving me that. So I do feel like that would be something that how it empowers people. That gives them hope, gives them whatever it is they need inside to be like, oh, you know what I mean? And that's why even creating this space, I think when people coming, they're coming because they feel that. Like we opened those gates and I was like, oh, like that's because of you and the land and everything. But this wouldn't be available to everybody if it wasn't for you. So I could totally see that.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are, you're
It's a big
warrior in the garden.
responsibility.
That warrior in the garden. That's what you are. You're that. It's powerful. We were talking about this morning. I'm like, that's like we were talking about it with the masculine. Like, there's an alpha and there's a benevolent alpha. And the benevolent alpha is the warrior sitting in the garden, like, I'm good. I'm peaceful. I'm chilling. But I got a sword on my back. Somebody steps in to harm those. I'm a provider, protector.
Yeah.
But you're that warrior. You have a warrior spirit
Mm-hmm.
for, all the things you're doing here. But it's a peaceful warrior.
It's just
Drake.
And he's the other warrior.
Like, what's going on?
He has quite a snore too, don't you, boy?
He's your protector.
It's okay.
It
Yes,
is.
Mama.
Oh boy, the times that we have like late night events here.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you could go see Freedom Field. There's like a big open space and the sky ring and you sit around. Anyway, we'll have events out there, a fire so we'll be out late and he's by my side.
Yeah.
Like no matter like how far I hike, how long I'm out, like how early I'm up. I am usually a morning person, but yeah, he is.
He's your protector.
He is my protector.
He's sweet. He's that gentle spirit. He's a warrior though.
But no, I am a total optimist. I know there's a lot of anxiety and concern in the world. Like are we leading to World War III? Are we going to, what's going to happen? My grandkids are going to, I'm worried about the earth too, and like what we're destroying and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have so much trust and faith in the universe, and I believe in beauty of people. I believe in heaven on earth. And all we are is what we believe. All we are is what we, we're creating this. So I don't have a doubt in my mind that we're on a beautiful path. We're leading to a great place. We are evolving to the new human. We are going to be light beings.
Yeah.
We are doing it at our own pace. We're all different shades of gray all throughout that, but the lighter shades of gray are ushering in the darker shades. Yeah, it's like I just am passionate about the passion I have because I see so many people discouraged. This was a tough week, not just with the election, but with I had so many friends that went through health. There's so many issues that happened like lately, and this has been kind of this year. It's been actually many since like COVID's kind of like and like there's just people are discouraged.
Yeah.
And
it feels like the storm before the calm, and I agree with that. And it's inevitable. We're going to evolve. Now it's going to get messy, and I think about the butterfly, right? It goes from the caterpillar to the cocoon. The cocoon is a messy, goopy, but it's a necessary part of it, and it's beautiful and it's perfect, but it's messy. It's fucking. But there's evolution, and I feel that when we were talking a little bit about the political side and these religious institutions, but the old paradigms are breaking up, and with that comes chaos, and there's an energy around that, and people are like, what the fuck is going on? But it's inevitable that we're all going to evolve, but it's sometimes it gets messy.
Yeah. And there has to be those that are at peace during that. And that's what I aspire to be.
Yeah.
So when people are upset and
You're
things their head, just like, yeah,
get back to
right,
center.
go exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you have that
Yeah.
for sure. The space has that. You
Yeah.
emanate that. Well,
Mm.
you are a light worker.
Well, thank
Beautiful.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even in myself, but it's not me. It's
Mhm.
like I am divinely guided. So if 2 nights ago I couldn't sleep, I like so much going through my head, like stuff going on in my real estate business, stuff going on, just
Yeah.
all over, like, in the middle of the night, like I think we all do this, like, oh God, like it feels so much worse in the middle of the night than it does in the morning. But I was like, okay, I was asking my guides, like, guide me through this. What is this?
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe the next day, like, and I did fall back asleep for an hour and a half. The next morning, the energy that I had, it's like, we've got this. Got it. We've got it. And I like sent a message out to my farm hands here. It's like, no, things are good.
Yeah.
No worries. I feel my energy's here.
Yeah.
We've got this.
Yeah. That certainty back.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that just goes back to, I mean, just, my guides do guide me, but all of our guides guide us. And it's the power of prayer.
Everybody has it. They just
Yes.
don't know it necessarily.
Yeah.
They have that power and they need to touch into whatever they feel like that is for them,
Yeah.
They call it something different.
Yeah,
but
they all
it's
call it something
whatever you wanna
different, but
call
we
it.
all have that, like you said, in prayer. You said it's in the power of prayer and, asking, being in touch with that. And people don't necessarily know how to do that, which seems so simple to those who who so easily have it, but it's like, it's there and you just have to get in touch with that. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is as simple as just asking. And even if you don't know who you're asking it to,
Yeah.
just like, please help me. Please guide me in this. Send me a message.
Yep. And I think it comes. Everybody gets them in different ways and inspired in different ways. You just have to listen and breathe, take that time. Like, like you said, you come in here to pray and that's your moment and you have your other things that you do like to help bring that. And people call it meditation, whatever you want to call it, I guess, right? But just, listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Our guides and angels are like waiting for us to ask. That's one of their jobs.
Yep.
Is to answer.
Yeah.
So, put them to work.
They're waiting.
They're anxiously,
you can do this.
Excitedly, for sure.
Apparently, I need to learn about Kundalini yoga. Well,
it's actually yoga. There's difference. There's a total difference. Kundalini yoga is not the same as a Kundalini awakening. Kundalini yoga is a type of yoga.
Okay. Kundalini
awakening is an energy expansion that starts up the chakra system and wakens you up and I heard all kinds of things. I started speaking light language. I was talking to Mother Earth. I was outside of myself, watching myself. I couldn't walk afterwards. So yoga, it's very, very different.
So you're saying to do.
Well, no.
I keep hearing Kundalini. That's it.
Kundalini could mean, there's many.
So either way, that word or that keeps coming out into me, and I've got to figure out what it's talking about.
Exactly. You need to figure out what it is with you. It's not something. It's something you can ask your higher guidance for, but it's not something that you can do. Kundalini yoga, you can just do.
Yeah.
Kundalini awakening just happens to you. Okay. You can't make it happen.
Right.
It is a gift from the beyond that takes you to the next level and is crazy amazing.
So how do you know though? You just know.
Oh, yeah. How can you not know?
Okay, I'm just trying
all that stuff.
All that, yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out
the first time I was just, it's like, but I get outside when I've meditated so long since college, so I can go into really deep meditation. So it's like going into deep meditation so much that you're outside of yourself and this energy comes and you feel this energy moving through you, but you're not in you, but you're I almost feel like I'm raising in vibration, and then and then I start speaking light language and I'm praying on the earth and seeing these visions and I'm just I'm outside of myself. It's like I channel too, but this is like
Yeah.
channeling. Like if I channel, like I just open up and ask kind of them to. This was like that, like um the powers that including my higher self that wanted to make some kind of transition coming into me without really me no asking for it.
Hmm.
So it's like being kind of it sounds so wrong to say like being controlled.
No, maybe being
Just
guided.
having
Maybe it's like a guiding of some
Mm.
sorts, or
It's more than guided. It's just an experience. It's a religious experience. It's a religious experience. And I know like, priests and nuns and gurus and they have all had, not all of them, but many have had experiences like that. And I really think it's a gift,
Yeah.
to be able to have that kind of religious experience that's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of religious experience, a lot of magic and miracles and things like that, but this was like, yeah, this I can't even explain it. Like, okay, so this is
Exciting,
another
though.
miracle that happens, the magic that happens on Milo Farm. So not only this bird that's on my logo, can you grab that oracle card?
Yeah.
I create oracle cards based on Milo Farm.
Oh,
So
cool.
my logo is the tree of life, but the bird is a red tanager bird.
Mhm.
And my mother died in 2015, and she knew that I love birds. My Christmas tree is covered in birds.
Yeah.
My
Oh.
favorite color is red. You can see a lot of red
Yeah.
in here, right? So she came back. Often our loved ones come back as birds and butterflies and
Mhm.
things like that. And
Yeah.
so she came back as a songbird. She'd never been to Milo Farm. I bought it after she passed.
Mm.
But she sings to campers, sings to me. She tries to get into the house,
Oh
into
my
the
goodness.
lodge, and knocks on the same window. And
She's like, I belong here.
yeah. So of course, had to get her tattooed and all that.
Oh.
So but they migrate. So the teenagers, she comes in May and then
Mhm.
migrates again in August, back out, August, September. Yesterday, I was making the bed. There was the window right by the bed, and I heard this something on the window. I turned around, and it wasn't a tanager, but it was the brightest red cardinal with something in his mouth. And he was flapping it, and he was like trying to get my attention right there when I happened to be at that
Yeah.
time. That is nothing but a miracle. And like saying something to me in flap for a while. Like
Mhm.
I just went, what do you do when I mean, this stuff happens all the time here.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell you the maypole story. I mean, there's just lists of like magic that happens here. And I think it happens to everyone. They just aren't noticing it as much.
Well, it's like we were talking about, you have to be, if you're not willing to receive it and you can't, if you're not listening, like you were telling me, if I'm not listening, I'm not going to receive it. I'm not going to understand it. And if I ignore it, like you said, it's like, okay, it's not the right time right now. So maybe in a few years or, whatever that is. I feel like people like have to be open to that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm at that point where for me, I'm in my life of wanting to be open and to learn and to receive and to,
Yeah.
but I do find myself like going back
Yeah.
a lot. And I'm like, why do I keep myself from allowing myself to receive or to hear or to do those things that I'm supposed to be doing? Like you said, you're very open to it and you're just like, I'm just gonna go for it. It's coming and I'm going and you're just kind of flowing with it, where I'm learning to do that. That's something I have to work on, which I think everybody probably, I would assume, is everybody has an opportunity like to connect, but they have to be open.
Yeah.
They have to want to. And you're just more, I think your gift is just being more open and you can just receive and then you share it. Like you're sharing it with everybody, which I think is awesome and it's so beautiful.
Thank you. I want to go back to you. The Kundalini thing, because you were talking and then you were talking about wanting to be open, and I totally saw your energy of just like wanting this but like retracting back. I think that's the message of Kundalini for you.
Yeah.
Is like it's just gonna have to be a slap in the face.
I
You
think
did-
I'm
that's
being
the only
slapped in
way-
the face. That's what I feel like.
No, but I mean
Even
like
more so.
even more, right?
Yeah. Okay. I can do this.
Get ready.
So the question is, or no, the homework for you is to ask your higher self to be ready and open for that.
Oh,
Because
I like that.
yeah. So you open that up to the universe. I am ready for this Kundalini awakening.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
So here I am speaking it and I'm not listening to my own words
yeah.
as well. I find myself doing that to other people, like, and telling them what I feel like, hey, I feel like inspired to tell you this, or I'm going to tell you this, just it comes out. But I'm like, for myself, it seems
Oh, we're all like that.
So apparently I have to be slapped.
We're all like that. Like I'm always speaking, like so Milo, mindful, intentional living in oneness.
Okay, I was gonna ask
Mindful,
you. I wondered
intentional
what
living
the
in oneness.
Milo was,
Mhm.
and that's cool.
So the mindful part.
Mhm.
I'm always speaking of being mindful, but I'm the same way. I'm like, Lonnie, be in the now. Lonnie, wait, no, get here now. Get here now. Be here now. Be here now. So yeah, we all struggle. I think. What is that? Preach. Do what you preach. No, what is that?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, I love what you said too about like this perfect source of love from which we all came
Mhm.
is communicating to all of us in many different ways. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's another person, sometimes it's a book, sometimes it's maybe a religious ritual or whatever, but it is
Mhm.
outpouring that love and communicating with nature, a bird. We're just not always tuned into it, but 8 billion people are having it, and all these animals are having those experiences with that. We're just not open to it, but it is
Yeah.
nonstop communicating with us in so many different ways, and I love that. People that are, I mean, we're going to share this podcast and such, but how can people reach out to you? If I mean, they can come to us and we'll connect you, but how can they get a hold of Milo Farms or get in touch with you? Anybody that this is resonating with, or
Yeah. So there's milofarm.com and of course Milo Farm Instagram, Facebook, and all of the good stuff. That's the best way.
okay,
But I do want to say something that kind of like came to me when you were talking about communicating.
yeah,
I do have farm hands here. So that was the mindful of my Milo. Intentional. So we have a small intentional community.
Mhm.
It's just me and a few farm hands. And then there's the Milo tribe, and Milo is a nonprofit.
Okay.
So Milo Farm's a nonprofit. Then there's Milo Ranch, which holds the assets. Got a scratch in my throat. But the intentional community, Milo family that lives here, we really support each other. And this is
Mhm.
like our vision is we're all about sharing and community and
Mhm.
supporting.
mm-hmm.
So we have like sharing circles. So like Christ Man runs a men's group, Sunshine does like women's kind of support. Bubbles is like garden permaculture, and Yoda is like the yoga and the philosophical master. So but all of us like work together, and we start where we're at. We are our own family, and that's where we need to get back to is community
Yeah,
and
community.
supporting
Yes.
each other. And so then we have the tribe. So that's us here. It's the family.
Yeah.
Then we have the Milo tribe, and that's the people that volunteer a lot, that
Mhm.
spend a lot of time here, that come to a lot of the events. They're always like I have the holidays, the big events. They're they come and then we all do this special
Mhm.
things. But then we have these share circles. We're like, Dave, how are you today? What's in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that. And we really look each other in the eye of like active listening. And that's what we have to get back to. Just it's
Yeah.
not just like, being all light and love.
Yeah.
It's like supporting each other on a regular basis. Like
Yes.
what does family really mean? And family is not your bloodline. Family is what you make it
Yes.
and what you support and what you love. And that's what we're doing here. And that's I want to be like the utopia, the recipe for the heaven on earth. And it really is to the not just the tie to the nature and the people,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but in the animals, but to
Yes.
it's like to each other's hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like in acceptance and all of that. So that
Yes.
is really, really, really important. So I'm glad that came out. It's funny when you talk you brought to communicating, and that's where I was like, that's what brought me to the community.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that is
And it's so important. And that's kind of like where I feel like I'm like people, we need each other. Like, and we've all probably been in a place where you felt so alone. And like you did, all I had was to connect to that, to try and connect with that. And that was great, but you still need to have that connection, but you also need your community. You need your people
Yeah.
around you because
It's so easy to isolate.
it is.
And I've learned people think I'm an extrovert, but I recharge as an
Same.
introvert.
Same.
And solitude
Mhm.
is sacred and
Same.
beautiful, but isolation is not good. And so
Same.
I've set
Yeah.
up parameters for myself because I can easily just isolate
Mhm.
to have community because we need that. We need community
Yeah.
to do your isolation, but there's a difference between being the monk in the forest and now I'm going to be in the world and
Mhm.
connected to
Yeah,
other people.
and
'Cause
it's
we all
not
need
just,
that.
and it's not just, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
How's the
deep.
weather?
Yeah.
It's like stuff that, yes, deep, what really
Real.
matters. Because this is another thing, talking about the new human and what we're evolving,
Yeah.
we are the point, and what
Yeah.
you do is healing. Like
Leading edge,
we
yeah.
are going to, we are supposed to heal us and our ancestors below us and
Mhm.
our future selves.
Mhm.
We are the precipice right now of changing the effing world, and this is
Yes.
a big job. We have
And
to do it, but we
and
have
it
to
takes
stand up and
us.
do it.
Yes, but
Yes,
it takes us.
it
And it
take-
takes community. It takes
It
all
takes-
of that.
Yes.
So exciting.
We're
I love
all
it.
a different role in that, but
Yes.
that's if we do want to do
Not
heaven on
this-
earth, we need to heal.
Which don't you feel like the forces? I don't know if you can call it light or dark. You can call it whatever you want. The good energy, negatives, positive. There's that pressing against us. There's even more of a press against it though right now. Like
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
stop that because there's such a division right now with so many things. You could go into politics. You could go into religion. You could go into all those things. I feel like that is where I'm like, no, we need connection. And it doesn't matter if we're different. That's what the
No,
beauty
yeah,
is. We
yeah.
should be different because that's what makes us all unique. But we need to be supporting each other. We need to have these communities to help one another and not, like you said, not on a shallow end. You need it on a deep level because that's what we do. Because deep down, that's where we're like, let's shove it down deep. Let's not talk about it. Let's not do that, which is so unhealthy for us. So like,
We were
not
chatting this
healthy.
morning about how turned off we are of our small talk. Like I just,
Oh no, yeah. Same.
I'm anti-social because I'm like, I can't do small talk. Now this kind of conversation all
Oh,
day,
yeah.
every day.
Yes,
Like small
yes,
talk,
yes.
people ask me about
Exactly.
news. I'm like, I don't watch the news. I couldn't tell you what's going on. But you want to talk about something deep? Yes. So that
Same.
and that
Like,
passion. I
oh,
don't know if
yeah.
you guys can feel that
Oh
passion.
man, I'm
Holy
just like,
cow. Yeah.
that's what I thrive on. I mean, majored in philosophy. I mean, this is like,
No,
and
it's
like
coming out of you.
You walk away from so in the spirit shack we do the small circling in here,
Mhm.
bigger circling in different areas, but you walk away just like not you're full,
Yeah.
like full, not empty. You know, not like
Yeah.
and
Recharges you.
it's not. And then back to the division, it's not like us and them. Us. It's always like them. Like
Yeah.
we're all one, and that's the oneness of Milo.
We
We're
are
all
all
one. So like I love you where you are.
Yes.
No matter where you are, I
Yeah.
love you, whatever you believe in. But
Yeah.
you gotta love me too, because I am not gonna change. You can try to change me, but
Well, it goes to that give and take, right? We want to give and give, but we also need to receive. And if you're just take all the time, then that's an unhealthy place to be, right?
Mhm.
We need to be where we're giving, like you've given to me, and hopefully I'm giving back to you, and vice versa, that we can feel that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's what people
It's called an
need.
energy exchange.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always be a fair energy exchange, because if you
Yeah.
Right.
And like you said, every spiritual master from Buddha to Christ, Yeshua, whatever, like they taught that oneness. And the divine is looking through itself back at you, to me.
Right,
and
right,
like
right,
we
right.
literally
Yes,
are one.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
And when you get that concept, be it a business exchange, be it a interpersonal exchange, like it's more than just, I want to have people do like the golden rule. No, there's a higher level, the platinum
Yeah.
rule. Like I want for you what you want for you. I will give you grace and meet you where you're at because I see the divinity in you and I feel that looking back on itself. And that's community, that's depth. And if we can do that in our personal lives, in business,
Well,
it doesn't matter.
It starts here.
Yes.
It starts here. Like if we can,
Loving you first, you have to.
Yeah. So I'm on a path of like self mastery. So my self mastery, and one thing I'm working through right now is like unconditional love. So trying to love everyone unconditionally and understanding like where that is and everything unconditionally.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and that's really a hard lesson. Like because I have had strong beliefs and like those that I love Mother Earth, and if people throw out cigarette butts or trash or don't recycle, I'm like, and I got it. I got
the warrior comes out.
Yeah.
Love the person.
I know
that
exactly.
behavior, like,
I know. Yeah, exactly. So like, but yeah, that's where we start self mastery. Start with ourselves, and the world outside will change.
Yeah.
So like, you can do the division thing, but like, why do I feel division? Go back in. Why? What am I seeing?
And it's impossible. You can't separate that triad of another person, the divine, and yourself. Like I can't say I love God and hate you. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And so if I really love all of that, I love myself, which means I love you, which means I love the divine. Like it's all interwoven.
And it's not just people. I love the cancer. I love, you know,
gift
the
that showed
stomach
up of the
flu. I
divorce
love
or-
the
Yeah,
all of that.
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
Because
and
and
I
that's
trust that
hard.
it's all guiding. Yes, it is hard.
Yeah.
That's one
yeah.
theme. We've done about 10 podcasts, but I said one of the themes is every single person
Mhm.
had something,
Yep.
whatever it is, cancer, divorce, bankruptcy, shit. But it's a gift. Like, oh, what we think was our worst day actually became our best day. And
Well, because
that trust of
if
we're being
you
guided.
learn something from it, if you're willing to receive what it's trying to teach you,
Yeah.
and you allow that, then all it does is it's just learning. It's more knowledge. It helps you become that next level of whatever that is. Like, you know what I mean? It's education, I think.
Yeah.
We're in the school of hard knocks, but there's so much beauty in it. Like you
Yeah,
were saying.
you have to step back and not be the victim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, and just love it. Love, like, be like, okay, well, that wasn't my favorite thing to go through, but I learned this, I learned this, I learned this, or I'm gonna do this now, and
What can I choose from
what
that
can I
on a go
choose from it?
forward?
Yeah, and I don't, and you may not like say someone hurt you, because I think that's that victim mentality. Someone else did this to me, like. Stop thinking that. Stop thinking that everyone else hurts you, because maybe they're hurting themselves. Hurt people. We all hear that, right? They're in a place of hurt. It doesn't mean you have to accept what they do,
Or
especially
excuse their
if,
behavior.
yeah, but you need to like be like, you know what? That's them. They choose that. I don't have to choose that. I can choose to be that better being, or that better, have better purpose, and I don't have to be like that. Not accept that. Don't be the victim, because you stay in victim state, which we see so much now. It's like always blaming it. Well, my parents, well, my so and so did this. Well, maybe those things did happen. It's not that they're not validated or that they didn't happen, but it doesn't define who you are. You get to decide that. You get to decide.
That's the big point, is the decision in choice. Everything in your life is a choice.
Yes.
Even how you take things, how you think of things.
Yes.
Like thoughts are powerful. Thoughts are
Yes.
magic and create things. So
Right.
like if you're constantly going through, oh, she did this. I can't believe she did. She should have treated me this. Like you're creating that.
Rewiring.
Negative.
So
It's like what people negative energy, right? The negatives and the positives. Like you have to create it. You have to be like,
and it's hard to change. I mean, this is a choice. It's hard to
Mhm.
change your thought system, but like you can do it.
yeah.
That's the
you
self-mastery
said it.
part.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said it. It's like repetitive. It's key. It's practice. It's trying. It's not. I'm not always gonna be on the road driving. That I'm not gonna be like you. But I'm like, no, you don't know their circumstances. You don't know what happened. And maybe that person's like, I'm so sorry. Before you react to something like that, because most of the time you're like, you jerk, and then you drive by and it's this little old lady, and you're like, oh, I'm the jerk.
Yeah.
I'm like, I shouldn't have said. She can barely see, and she's like barely over that steering wheel. You know what I mean? Like, have grace for people, because you don't know what they're going through, and you don't know what their circumstances are at that moment.
But the bigger picture, if you step back, again, it's all in choice. Like you chose to be on that car, passing that little old lady. Back up even more. You chose this life.
Yes.
So like I have a friend that's going through a hard thing. It's like, I didn't choose this life. Well, I didn't want to argue with her, but you do. You go and like this is and there's a reason you chose these things in your life, because you wanted to experience those and you wanted to evolve and learn from that. So it's going back to the soul level. It is all choice. We chose to be reincarnated in this life.
Yes.
We so you can't really, if you really want to blame anyone, then blame yourself.
You signed it. You said yes.
Exactly.
I will do those things, and you're like,
Volunteered for this.
Yeah, that's a hard one to swallow. A lot of people, I didn't choose to have a terminal illness. Well,
Maybe
I mean, yeah, because you're teaching so many others through that process. You don't know how many people you're affecting in a positive way.
oh my gosh.
Makes me think of that Wayne Dyer quote. Exactly that. He went through so much early on, but then he got that understanding of like, well, you wanted to be a powerful being and be a light worker. Well, guess what? You had to go through this shit. Like when you tear a muscle and rebuild it in a physical sense, spiritually, he had to get torn apart as a kid. All the shit he went through, emotionally and spiritual,
and all that,
and then it became this being that was speaking that, and he chose that. And once he got that, he's like, oh, I did choose this. And here's the reason, because I wanted to be this big, expensive light worker. That fucking sucked, but now I'm here, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Choosing and going back to the mindfulness of this moment. Just feel into it. It's beautiful to have you guys here.
It is.
You know, this beautiful day, you know,
know,
it's
I'm
gonna
just-
be a fall day,
The
60
sun
degrees.
coming in.
I was gonna say the sun's
coming
shining on
in.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so going back to the Milo, we'll finish the thought on that. So we got the mindful, the intentional, being
Mhm.
community. You know, that's a big support. We're going back to tribalism. If you think of our ancestors, you know, it takes a village, right? It takes a
Mhm.
village. We all bring something else to the table, bring
Mhm.
something to the table to support each other. Living, the L, living. Again, we chose this, you know. We're living, everything is sentient beings. Like I told you that things talk to me. You know, you think a rock's not alive? I could beg to differ.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. Every rock will speak to me. Everything is living, you know. So we need to honor all of that, you know. And what does that mean to us? And especially honor us as alive, because we
Yeah.
chose to be this living being in this life.
Well, and accept what we have.
Yeah.
Because it's like hard to say, you know, I love myself, I love everything about me, and it takes process, but because everyone thinks there's this, we have to be this, and there's not.
Right.
You like love your
Right.
love who you are, learn to love that, like even short, tall, skinny, you know, thicker or whatever it is, different colors of skin, different colors of eyes, everything
Yeah.
of just, and different backgrounds where we came from. Is like you said, it's a gift and a blessing. Instead of saying,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like it because there's that negative energy again, it's like bring the positive back. What is so beautiful about it, and why are you letting everyone else tell you what you're supposed to be like? And I find myself fighting that all the time, like how I grew up or all the things around me, society, cultures,
Yes.
all of that. But like, I feel like you could come here, like I'm thinking like, oh, when can I come here and like really like step into myself of things that you create this space for people to do that. And you're saying, oh, come,
Yes.
find out,
Yes.
get in touch with that, you know, that upper higher self and everything else around you, the nature, everything, like you said, the rocks, and listen. I think that was one little thing that we did yesterday about with Bob and the mind and things like that. I was taking in the moment of kind of resetting your system a little bit of just just when you're going through stressful moments, and notice the things around you, notice the beautiful things, like because we have so much around us, like you were saying, this whole farm, all the beautiful little ecosystems, all the little pieces, all of that, they're all here. And it's like if we don't take time to sit and notice it, it just is, you know, we're not acknowledging those things and those blessings in our lives, I think. So
So that's the living piece.
Oneness. We talked about oneness. You know, all of us being one of the divine, or just a drop in the big ocean of God's source. And something that came to mind when you just said that was something that, you know, that Spirit said, when you come to Milo, you'll expand. I had always thought that dragons and fairies and gnomes were just these mythical creatures, but how that ties to oneness is like came here and started seeing them and on a daily basis, and forest nymphs and things like that. So the oneness of like these you would think imaginary realms are also us.
Part of us.
Yeah.
Oh,
and yeah, every drop in the ponds that we step into. But
well, oneness is one of those highest laws. That book that I gifted you, spirituality and science are really saying the same thing. Oneness from every spiritual master, Buddha, Jesus talked about oneness, right? But science is saying that quantum physics is like everything breaks down into energy. So it's both sides of the
holographic universe. It's a holograph of it's all
and that is one of the highest laws.
Yes.
And I liked what you said. Like if you keep taking a step high enough and step back, you get to that oneness. And if we're down in this little granular, pissed off separation about whatever, no, keep going up, keep layering up, because you get to oneness and love.
Yeah, and like that stuff doesn't matter.
None of it.
None of it matters.
None of it, because you're in a different viewpoint of love and oneness. Which okay, this is the truth. This is really. And we're always reaching for, like, we're in that anxious, like, and we're always reaching for the peace and happiness. If you do that meditation and step up, that is bliss, peaceful happiness. What all of us are searching for all the time. Because that's our home. That's where we came from. Yeah. We're going back there. Yeah. No, we're there now. Yeah. When we choose, yes. In the meantime, we get to choose how much we can choose to be there now. Yes. It's there. Yes. We just have to tap into it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, do you feel completed or any final just thoughts? Because yeah, that felt like a
Yeah. It was kind of like a wrap up.
yeah.
Um, mm, I gotta say, we've got some ascended masters here with us,
Mm,
and thank them for their support. They're
sure.
here in this room with us. They're loving these kind of communications and this kind of sharing, and thanking you for bringing it out into the world, and you for doing that as well. We're in it together. It's not just us on the front lines. They're supporting us,
Mm,
as well. Even though they might not be physically, like Yogananda is one of mine, might physically be here.
that goes back to Martin Luther
Um, oh yeah, exactly. But they're here in spirit, and so every little conversation like that, every little epiphany that people have, and like in loving themselves, these these masters are behind that,
Love
helping
that.
them.
Just yeah.
They don't know that you're not alone,
Yeah.
they're
I love that. Because after
Yeah.
that community, and it's not just here, it's also the
Oh, yeah.
others. The others are around you
Yeah.
that you have access to, and
Mhm.
yeah, I love that.
That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
And even though you can't see them like I can see them, they are here.
And you can
And they
feel
love
it.
you and support you.
Mm,
All of us in our mission, because we're in a age of Aquarius, interesting. We chose to be in this ascension period, and I just feel blessed to be alive right now, and I hope everybody else does too.
oh,
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful message for everybody to hear.
Yeah.
They should.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It was.
Mm.